Let's give him a try.
Hello.
Hello.
That was like a very enthusiastic hello. That was like almost surprised me. How enthused you were.
I'm ready.
Dude, you're ripped. You're fucking ready to...
I'm feeling ferocious.
Ferocious.
Like a fucking,
like some animal instinct shit coming in, just like a fucking tiger. Like a wild...
Like a spider monkey hopped up on Mountain Dew.
Dude, I would love to see that.
It'd probably be crazy, right? I feel like that was a Talladega Nights reference. I don't know.
Is that a Talladega Nights reference?
I think so. Maybe not. I think it's a Will Ferrell movie. I'm not sure. Anyways, this episode is about animals and animal rights and all things animals, because you got to fight for your right to survive. So welcome in. I am Jake. He is Mike. He is Mike.
Yes.
And this is Stuff You Wouldn't Say Out Loud. We're going to cover as much as we can about animals. I, for one, am an animal lover. My wife is an animal lover. Since marrying her, less so. Like, I don't like cats as much as I used to because of her. Because she just likes them
I've never liked cats.
Yeah, she likes them far too much. It's just like the fucking cat litter is just, and then like in the middle of the night when all you hear is like rah, 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 and then like at some point it's a fucking landmine. You're gonna step on that, whatever the fuck that was. You're gonna step on that, and I always do.
I'm getting angry just listening to you talk about.
Oh, it pisses me off, dude. There's nothing worse than having to change cat litter, right? And like by the time you walk away from that cat litter box, like you've got cat litter stuck to the bottom of your foot. It infuriates me.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I don't have cats because I hate them. I don't hate them. I don't hate them. But like, I do. Any animal that I am providing for,
and they think they're entitled to it,
and they think they're better than you, right? Like they look at you as like a fucking idiot. Well, people always say, like the old saying is like, we domesticated dogs.
Right.
Cats domesticated themselves because they were just smart and they knew they needed to survive. They were like, we don't want to deal with humans, but like we kind of have to, so we're just going to pretend like they're our owners and shit, and they're going to feed us. So,
and they were right, and it's insane.
Yeah, they were totally right. We're idiots.
Oh man. Do you have any like specific topics or anything that you want to cover here?
Well, since we were specifically talking about like animal rights, there were a few things like I wanted to look at. Something that interests me is how much rights should animals have? Like, should they have equal rights to humans? 2, I wanted to look at, like, specifically, like, I'm interested in diets based, because, like, again, I'm kind of like the health person.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a health freak. Like, I'm interested in, like, diets related to eating animals or not eating animals. Like, I thought that was like something that would be interesting to chat about.
Right.
Trying to think of do all dogs go to heaven?
Yeah,
that was on my list.
Of course they do.
Yeah, dude, doggies are so good.
They are.
We don't deserve dogs, dude. We do not deserve dogs. They are such good animals. Like, we don't deserve them as human beings. We're terrible creatures, dude. And doggies are just so, like, good-hearted.
They really are. They really are. We like, it's terrible that we fucked up some dogs, you know, like just mentally.
Yeah.
Fucked up some dogs.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, like, I the scum of the earth are the people who fucking, like, treat dogs badly. Like, it always makes me so mad when I read stories about
my
people,
wife
like,
can't stand Michael Vick.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a big fan, dude.
Me either. And it just, like, it blows my mind how, like, he's, like, made his way back into the limelight. You know, just, like, he's there. There's another new documentary out or whatever where, like, it's just, like, at this point, it's like, well, he's being honest about it. Like, I don't fucking, like, that's even, I mean, I guess that's better, but, like, he shouldn't have done shit in the first place. I don't know. Like, it's crazy.
Right, no,
also,
I don't.
Also, to some extent, like, you do, like, so the one point where, like, I stand differently than my wife is, like, I also understand that you gotta think about where he grew up and, like, what he knows to be right and wrong, and, like, just, like, it was very normal for dog fighting to be a thing.
Yeah, but dude, okay, so dogfighting, one thing, sure, but dude, like, I don't think people know, like, everything that went into that whole dog, because he, like, was fucking horrible.
So that's what I was gonna say, is it gets a lot worse than just the dogfighting. It's also the way he took care of them, the way he beat the fuck, you know, just killed them. Like, the way that he did all of those things was the way that...
I don't think the general public knows the extent of how horrible of a person he was. Like, they know he, like, was dogfighting, but, like, I didn't know how, dude, like, when I, like, was, like, reading up on that shit, terrible. I was, like,
it's
mortified. Mortified,
yeah.
Dude, yeah.
It's terrible stuff that we don't need to get into. Just, like, if you wanted to see the gruesome shit that he did, you could find it fucking anywhere, you know. There's documentaries about it.
Yeah.
But what was that first topic that you had said?
Animal rights, like how much rights should animals have?
And so the way I take that,
I don't think, because we're seeing a lot more of this in law. Like, there's a lot of laws being passed based on, like, animal rights.
Exactly what I was gonna say. Yeah. Like, where if you kill a dog, like, if you kill someone's dog, should you treat that the same as, like, you know, killing your neighbor, you know?
Right, exactly. Yeah, that's my question, is, like, how much rights should... I mean, because they're not, like, let's be honest, they're not humans. Like, they're not. Like, they're not... They don't have the thought, emotion, capacity, at least.
No, but I think
right now, most animals.
Right, and I agree with that. But I also think that, like, if you went out of your way to kill your neighbor's dog, like, then
you're a shithole person, dude.
Yeah, well, not only are you a shithole person, but, like, if I were that neighbor and you, like, you came over and you killed my dog, I would think to myself, what is stopping you from, like, one more short fuse coming and killing me?
If you come over and kill my dog, dude, you're fucking dead as dog shit, literally. Like, my doggies are, like, near and dear to me. I would kill somebody over my dogs. Or my rabbits, because I have rabbits too, and I love them more, as much equally as I do my dog.
I had a rabbit. My rabbit died of natural causes a couple of years ago. R.I.P. Roger.
I'm sorry, Roger. Yeah, he was a good bun, dude. He was one of the best.
He was. I had him for like 10 years. It's crazy.
Dude, can we just talk about real quick the fact that bunnies are probably, like, one of the best pets ever? Like, and that sounds super unmanly. Like, not that we ever see manly anyways, but, like, dude, I'll tell you what, I was shocked and amazed by how good of pets rabbits are.
When so part of the selling factor for me was like, oh, wait, you're telling me that he's litter trained? It's like, get the fuck out of here. Like,
yes, dude, yes. One of my rabbits is litter trained. The other, my baby rabbit, he's newer. He's not a baby anymore. He's like a year or two old. But like, he is not. But my one Bernie, my homie, he is like a dog, except doesn't bark. He's not loud. Doesn't make a mess. Like, he literally, like, He will wait at the door.
Yeah.
Well, I should say he used to. Now we have new puppies, and they're not so good with Bernie, so Bernie's back in his cage.
Oh,
but
man.
back before
makes sense.
Yeah, and it's okay. We bought him a really cool setup. He really likes it. Like, it's one of those, like, 3-layer ones.
See, that was always the weird thing is my dog, who is a dog fighting rescue, was totally fine with Roger. Isn't that interesting?
It's not even so much that they like want to be malicious towards him. They're just two new puppies, and they're pretty big dogs. Like I have two dogs that are.
My dog was so broken that she knew, and probably still does, she still can't be around other dogs, and that's it. Like, the cat's fucking fine. You know, like, they bother her sometimes, but it's because, like, she's scared that they're going to get food and she won't. But aside from that, like, she doesn't care about anything other than another dog. When she sees another dog, it's ingrained that, like, okay, let's go to work.
So she tries to fight other dogs.
I don't know so much anymore now in her senior years, but yeah, like before, like, she was all muscle. And now she's like 50% cat poop. Just fucking slob.
Yeah.
She really let herself go.
I mean, it's so funny to see, like, the instincts of animals kick in sometimes, like, and that's also something that worries me. I think also something we should talk about, dude, is, and I think it's just because it's a touchy subject, but I would like to get your opinion on it.
Yeah.
Like, what kind of dog is it that you have? I don't even.
She is, so the main thing is that she's part pit, and she's part Australian Shepherd.
Okay, because that was going to be my thing was pit bulls. Like, I would like your opinion on those, like whether or not it's a good breed to keep, like, putting in homes.
I'd say yes, and it all comes down to the owner. Like, there's no way to weed out the owner. You know, whether or not you can actually deem them to be a good owner or not. You know.
Right. This is where I'm going to disagree with you, actually, because I think that, does it come down to how they're raised? Absolutely. Are they going to be a better dog if they're raised better? Sure. No doubt about that. But going back to that instinct thing, dude, I have seen some very good pit bulls snap, like, just seemingly out of nowhere, and you can just tell that's where, like, that instinct.
Were they a rescue? Do you know their background?
No. These are just, and I mean, like, I've done a little bit of reading up on it because, like, I was just, like, somebody questioned me on it once, and I didn't know much about it, so I looked into it, and I forget it. It's a huge percentage, like, a vast majority of animal attacks per year, dog attacks, are by pit bulls, like an unimaginable majority. Like, and I think it's not necessarily.
I'd have to see actual stats on that
breed
to know or agree. But also, so the other thing with pit bulls to know is that they are extremely, what's the word I'm looking for? Protective of what they know to be their family.
Sure, and I get that as well, but like I said, is that necessarily a good thing? Like, are they protected? Yeah, but do I want them to be protected when my neighbor's 10-year-old wanders over into our yard? Like, no. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
I don't know.
Yeah, and that's something that you have to figure out. You know, so there's another thing where if you've got a 3-year-old pit bull and you work 60 hours a week at your, you know, some nice job, you shouldn't have a 3-year-old pit bull because it's going to have all this pent-up energy, and it will not know how to release that energy. I think there's a lot of factors into it.
So I have the stats on that. So according to Canine Journal, an organization that compiles and analyzes all of the dog bite attacks in the country, pit bulls accounted for 284 deaths in 2005 to 2017. That's 65% of overall dog-related deaths.
Okay.
65%. I mean, I'm just saying, like, I don't know that it's necessarily the best breed to keep, like, bringing into homes. Like, I just don't know that, like, when there are other options, do we need to keep breeding pit bulls?
I mean, no. So, I mean, you could get away with, you know, you don't have to breed them, but someone is.
Right. I mean, I know it's like a Pandora's box. They're out there. They're not going away. But
my thing is, like, I don't care if you try to stop breeding them and breed them into something better or, like, nicer. I just can't stand, like, cities putting bans, like, nope, if you live in this town, you can't have that kind of dog.
See, and again, I don't know that I'm opposed to that, dude. I'm gonna.
You're allowed to be opposed to it. You're allowed to be.
I'm gonna sound like, I know, but there's gonna be a lot of people that are like, you're a huge dick. But dude, like I said, I just don't.
So, like, here's my thing, right? So something that people wouldn't say out loud is, you said 285.
I think is what it was.
From 2005 to 2017.
I believe, yeah. Let me pull that page back up. But yeah, go ahead, go with your.
That's how many pit deaths happen, right? Not total, pit alone, right?
Yes.
Right, yes. And that was 65%.
So in those years altogether, there was 433 deaths.
Yeah. And this,
dog deaths in general, 284 of those were from American pit bulls.
And this
like
was,
the breed
this
American.
This is in America?
Yes, specifically in America, yeah.
Right. You know, my first thought, that's not many. Like, I don't think that's a lot.
Oh, I don't know, man. We have
7 years worth of time.
No, and I agree, but I'm saying we're going to have to dig into this more because we have conflicting facts here. Because the Merritt Clifton at dog attack deaths and maiming, U.S. and Canada, 1982 to 2018 log. So this is a different log.
Yeah, and this is a much longer amount of time.
Well, that's just like the name of like where they got this stat from. This is a different website.
Right. But you said 1980 to 2000 when?
It was the study is 82 to 2018. The statistic I'm about to give you though is 2009 to 2018 specifically, 10 years.
Okay.
They are claiming. Okay, so this isn't just killed. This is pit bulls killed or maimed 3,569 people in the U.S. and Canada, and that's over 80% of dog attacks in like where they consider a killing or maiming in that 10-year period. That's 80% of those were from pit bulls.
Sure.
So, I mean, again, is that do I have anything against the doggies? No.
Well, you also included another country into that 10-year window.
Correct. But that also might be good to look at, too, because, I mean, if we're looking at...
Oh, and by the way, wait, the other one was what? You said 2005 to 17. My dumbass said 7 years. It's more than that. We're talking 12 years, which is like, that's a win. But now this one, 2008 to 2019, 10-year window, you included...
2009 to 2018.
2000, right. So still a 10-year window.
Right. Yeah.
And you included an additional country, and you're including bites.
Naming as well. But still, I mean, like, I don't want to be fucking named by a dog either.
No one does. I mean...
You know what I mean? Like, I don't care that it kills me or not. I mean, I do, but, like, I mean, still, that's, like...
No, it's still not good. I'm just saying you added another country and another layer of, like, not just deaths.
But, I mean, I don't know if that's a bad thing, because that just gives us a wider spread to look at.
I mean, is it?
Yeah, because that's two different countries.
But we're not seeing the difference in countries. We're not.
Now.
Yeah, but you didn't give me Canada. It accounts for 1,500, and America accounts for 1,500. So these animals are the same across the board. Because I doubt it. I bet you that there's probably, if I had to guess, I'd say less in Canada than there were in America. But we don't have the numbers on it.
Right. No, yeah. But those are the only numbers I'm working. I'm looking at.
Then if you try to look into America itself, I'd love to see the geographic locations, and then I'd love to see.
Ooh, that'd be interesting.
You know, and then on those locations, I'd love to see, what the, just what is it middle class? Is it lower middle class? Like, what is that population, right? There's, because, like, ultimately right now, when you're looking at pit bulls as a whole, like, you can't just assume that, like, everyone across the board, middle class, and that's who's got a hold of these dogs, right? I think majority of these dogs are owned by shitty people in shitty locations.
Okay, so that could be. I'm not saying the majority aren't, but there are a vast amount of
all I'm
stories
saying is you don't see a drug dealer walking around with a fucking Shih Tzu as his guard dog. Is all I'm saying.
Correct. But see, this is what I'm going back into. These dogs were bred initially. Like, they've had thousands of, or at least hundreds of years of breeding to be fighting dogs, or like war dogs. Like, they used them back in World War II to, like, they had fucking platoons of dogs. For, like, in a lot of wars, they had pit bulls and fucking things so I think those breeds of dogs, these war dogs, are not good dogs. Like, instinctually, like I said, they could be a great dog, but, like, animals have instincts, and they do kick in from time to time. Like, it does happen. You know what I mean? Like, and these dogs' instincts are to, like, attack and fight and kill, and that's okay. I mean, like, that's not their fault.
And I think those things happen, but I don't think that they happen untriggered.
I'm going to disagree with you, dude. Like, have you ever seen...
I'm not saying 100% of them happen, have something that... I don't think it's... 100% of them have to have something that triggers it. I mean, there's outliers, but, like, I'd say a majority of them, again, have something that triggers them. Or again, I would love to see, locations and who owns these.
I would too. And I agree with that. I would like to see that too. I think that would be, that'd be interesting to see. That'd be more data to look at. I would like to see that as well. But I don't know. Here's what I'm going to say, because I don't want to spend the whole fucking time talking about pit bulls. All I'm going to say is I am not going to take the risk of putting one in my family's home.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fair.
Like, I am not, you know what I mean? Like, that's where I'm at with it, is that I am not. And I will also say 100% I am apprehensive around pit bulls. Like, I will say my neighbor has a pit bull, and she's a sweetie, and she comes over to our yard, and she kicks it, and she's really sweet. But, like, still, I keep an eye on that dog. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I want to know where that dog is, if it's in my yard, or, like, sometimes she even comes into my house and just kicks it with our dogs, like, and that's okay. But I will tell you, like, I am, like...
See, so I would say, you know what I mean? Say you should be less concerned about yourself, more concerned about your dogs, would be my take.
I am, too. I'm also concerned about my dogs as well.
That would be, like, more believable to me. I know that, like, sometimes, even, like, if you have a pit and another dog, like, there has been cases where you come home and that pit bull had killed your other dog because they want you to be proud of it. Like, I know that those sorts of things have happened, and even that, is like an outlier situation. But, like, that's, I think, more common than a pit bull on its own, untriggered, just fucking has some sort of what seemingly would be a World War II flashback from his great great-great-grandfather dog.
PTSD, dude. From granddaddy dog, dude, yeah.
I just don't think that. I don't think
it's like the Nazis. So as long as you're not saying Heil Hitler, dude, you should be okay. Like,
yeah. Yeah, the second that dog hears Guten Tag, you're like, oh shit.
Right. Guten Tag, dude, just fucking go time. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, that's just my. I am one of like the not cool people that are not on the pit bull bandwagon. Like I'm just.
So would you say, are you more scared of pit bulls than you are a Doberman or Rottweiler?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. Should I be? Probably not, but yes, I am. 100%. Yeah.
Even a German Shepherd?
Ooh, I don't know, because they're pretty scary. I'm gonna say yeah, because dude, my dogs basically look like German. Like, dude, I have fucking part wolf dogs, and I'm like not afraid of them at all. And I am totally afraid of fucking. I wouldn't even say like afraid. I just like I have my guard up. I have my guard up around pit bulls.
So like, it's interesting because what I would say is like you should, with all dogs, you should have your guard up. Just to, not like your guard up, but you should be in the know. Like I can't stand the people who think it's okay to just put their face in someone else's dog's face. Like, oh, hey, puppy.
Yeah,
like, you don't fucking know.
Bitten.
You don't know that dog. And that's the way you should. That's the way you should treat all dogs. Like, you don't fucking know that dog.
Right.
I mean, who are the most shittiest dogs? Like, what kind do you think is the most shittiest dog aside from pit bull?
Just in
your
general,
book?
like asshole dogs.
Yeah.
Probably poodles or chihuahuas.
Exactly. Those fucking small dogs. If they were bigger, they would be the ones murdering people.
Dude, they would fuck you up.
They're terrible.
I have been bit by the only dogs I have ever been bit by is a poodle once, what's the wiener dogs? Dachshund?
Oh, yeah.
Dude, this is going to sound like a fake story, but it's real. I literally almost got my wiener bit off by a wiener dog. Dude, I had to go to the hospital and get stitches. If that dog would have been...
What the fuck? When was this?
Dude, if that dog... this was when I was young. I was probably like, I don't know, 12 or 13. Dude, if this dog would have bit me 2 inches lower, wiener gone.
Amazing.
It got me like right in the fupa. Dude, seriously. And I had to go get stitches, yeah. That is something I would not say. I don't tell that story to anyone.
Except everyone.
Except everyone now, because I can do it anonymously. But yeah, dude, like, I mean, like, how embarrassing would it be if my wiener got bit off by a wiener dog? Dude, just the irony in that is unreal.
That's amazing. So here's something I wanted to bring up that I mentioned last week was talking about Darwinism, and good
old Darwin,
and where you think. Well, I guess just your thoughts overall on that survival of the fittest, right? And what I had said was like we should be discluded from that because we can kind of like at this point with our weapons and like we're able to more or less decide whether something should be extinct or not.
Yeah, we had big brains. That's what set us apart. Like we were not we were not exquisite predators or anything like that. Like, that was not our jam, dude. We were never great predators. We were just smarter.
Right.
That's it. Our brains. Right. Yep.
So I guess at that point you could say survival of the fittest, right? But, like, I feel like if we went on a killing spree and just, like, you know, made an animal extinct, it wasn't like, oh, that animal's just not tough enough. It's like, well, no, like, we singled that animal out because we can go anywhere. Except, and I would put an asterisk next to like sharks and dolphins and whales. Like, who knows about them, right? Like, they might be able to. Except like The Cove, man, that's a shitty documentary. But like,
oh god, dude, oh man, The Cove.
But I feel like I feel like we don't know what's in the ocean. So, like...
Yeah, the ocean's a scary motherfucker, dude. You want to talk about scary shit.
It's pretty terrifying.
The ocean is yeah. Oh, yeah, dude, yeah. There's some creatures in there, dude, that we have not probably nor will ever see that are like the scariest sons of bitches you could ever imagine. Like, we have not explored hardly any of the ocean, dude. It's such a small percentage.
What do you remember? How far down do they think, like, the deepest part of the ocean goes?
Deep.
I think that's the scientific...
Deep AF, dude. Is what, fucking deep, dude. Let's take a look here, actually. Deepest... what's the deepest ocean, or deepest part of the ocean?
Yeah.
Let's go with that. Let's see what Dr. Google... We need to get, like, some theme music for Dr. Google. Like, anytime we bring him up, like, there needs to be just, like, a little...
Like, here's the thing, is, like, I want to guess that we think 7 miles, but, like, just saying that out loud doesn't seem deep enough.
So it's saying that the deepest... Because I thought it was the Mariana Trench. It is not. It is not the Mariana Trench. I thought it was. The deepest part is...
It's a good band.
Called Challenger Deep. Deepest part of the ocean is called Challenger Deep, and it is located beneath the western Pacific Ocean in the southern end of the... Oh, it is in the Mariana Trench. Okay.
That's a good band.
In the southern end... It's in the southern end of the Mariana Trench.
That's a good band.
Which runs several... Huh? That's
a good band.
Band name Challenger Deep or Mariana Trench?
Both.
Yeah, they are both pretty good names.
I don't know if either of them are bands, but if they were, they would be good bands.
I'd check them out.
Yeah, go on.
I go. Several hundred kilometers southwest of yada, yada, yada. Approximately 36,200 feet deep.
What is that in miles?
Well, it's like 5,000 miles, 5,000 some miles. Let's do feet to miles, Dr. Google.
So maybe I was right. Maybe is it? Maybe I was right. Maybe it's something like 7 miles ish, right?
What did I say? 36,200.
Yeah.
All right, let's check this out. 36,200. Yeah, pretty damn close, dude. 6.8.
Hey.
And I was pretty close with the miles. It's 5,280 feet. So.
Nice.
We are smart. We're smart.
We are smart. Brains. We got big brains. We can take out any animal.
We're smart animals. We're smart animals. Smart. So we really didn't answer the question about animal rights. I like how much rights an animal have. I say, give them some rights, but I don't think they should have equal rights to humans.
That
sounds shitty, but I don't think so.
So no, I would agree, but I also think that it's not black and white. Again, I think it comes down to what I think it comes down to what the act of crime was against the animal and like the meaning behind it, so obviously you're not going to go to a chicken farm and arrest the owner for
right. I was going to say that opens a can of worms. Yeah.
But again, if my neighbor came over while my dog was in my backyard using the bathroom and killed my dog, I would murder that person, or I would want them locked up for life. I would, for real, like, because that's ridiculous. Like, there's a screw loose if you were able to just come and kill my dog. Like, that's...
Okay. So let me ask you this then. Would that be any different than someone coming over and stomping a worm on your property?
I don't have an emotional attachment to either of those two things, but I will say that, like...
You see what I'm getting at, though, with this, dude? You see where I'm going?
Kind of, but that's not my pet worm.
Okay, but why should a dog have any more rights than a worm? If they're both living creatures, they're both animals.
If it were my pet worm and I let it outside to go to the bathroom and my neighbor came over and diced it up, I would be indifferent because now I've got 6 worms instead of 1.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, he kind of, yeah.
But aside from that, like if he was doing that to be cruel, then I would still probably take the same... I'd probably still have the same anger against him because he was doing something intentional to fuck with me, like
your pet worm, right? So let's say it's some.
But also, like like in my house, like we're typically, not all the time, but we typically, if we can catch the bug, we'll catch it and let it back outside. Like we're one of those fucks.
Yeah. I'm all about that. Yeah. I despise spiders with a passion, but I will not kill them because I know they're like eating the other bugs. Like you know what I mean? Like,
right.
I hate spiders. They give me. That's just one of my phobias. Like one of my deep-rooted phobias is spiders. Like I cannot stand spiders, centipedes, millipedes, dude. Those bugs creep me out. I don't mind snakes. Stick me on the Empire State Building. I don't mind heights.
Scare me.
Put me in a fucking. I do get a little claustrophobic, but like a dark, like none of that bothers me. None of those phobias, but those things do, and clowns do. I had a clown phobia for sure.
Really?
And dolls. Yeah, dolls too. Yeah.
Well, there's
or like any inanimate object that looks like a person, like any like personified.
I don't like snakes. Object. I don't like snakes. Let's move on. Let's move on to what was your next one? Your other point? Diets, right?
Yeah, eat it. Like, so like I think that goes in the same vein. That actually works pretty well. Like, if we're giving animals equal rights, like, I mean, like
again, I don't like. Yeah, like I don't think equal rights. I just think that it all depends on the situation.
Okay, so like I mean, like, but we need essentially to eat animals, right? Like, I mean, like, there's arguments against the fact that we don't need to. I would argue that we have canine teeth for a reason.
I'm relying on you to tell me, like vitamin-wise, what we're getting out of, animals versus not eating animals. And I mean, my instinct is that we need to. I mean, there's so many diets now that are like meat only, like that do.
Yeah.
That, I guess that was like the craziest thing for me is like there's these meat only diets that like result in weight loss for like really heavy, motherfuckers. But I don't know. You tell me more. I assume that in 2020 you could probably get vitamins like in some sort of pill form to supplement whatever you're not getting from your food, but like
right.
Is that the same?
Yeah, so let's take a look here. I'm trying to find like a decent website that gives me the pros and the cons of being a vegetarian here. Okay, here we go. This looks actually pretty good, and this is from some university. BUMC?
Sure.
Oh, Boston. Okay, Boston University School of Medicine. So that sounds pretty legit, right?
That makes sense, yeah.
Yeah.
You got to talk with a Boston accent, though.
So pros. I don't know how to...
Kaz.
Can I do like a New Jersey? A boy said on a koi, the New Jersey. So pros are reduced risk of heart disease, hypertension, and type 2 diabetes, which hypertension is just high blood pressure, decreases risk of certain cancers, reduced risk of rheumatoid arthritis, kidney disease, and gallstones, and nutrient intakes closer to national recommendation. Cons. Diets can be low in vitamin B12. Diets can be low in omega-3 fatty acids. certain stages of life. They give the example of pregnancy and during lactation require special attention. Some people may adopt vegetarian diets solely to lose weight, which I don't know why that's a con. Some people may adopt vegetarian diets to mask an eating disorder.
Interesting.
So, yeah, I mean, it seems like there are, there's some cons here.
Sure.
Yeah.
So then, like, ultimately in this day and age, like, is it just like a choice since, like, you can get everything you need in pill form?
I would say 100%. I think there's a lot of, like, you definitely do not absorb vitamins in a pill form as well as you do through natural digestion of the food that they're found in.
There's no way, right? But and so also, like, you can't just eat a pill, like a pill a day, and that's it. You'll die, right? Like, you can't eat, oh, this has all of the vitamins and everything I need, and that's all. Like, you still need substance, don't you?
I mean,
you still need those carbs to burn and shit like that. No, like, again, I don't know. I'm not the health guy,
you do, and there's a lot of, like, there are sources. I'm not so much worried about the carbohydrates. I worry more about the fats and proteins. Like, you're not going to be, because even, like, beans, like, you can get protein from, but they have, like, basically no fat whatsoever. So you're not getting any fats from that. And, there are people who still eat, like, eggs and, like, fish and stuff like that. Like, they will allow that. And, like, I think that's the difference between vegetarian and vegan. What's vegan mean exactly? I don't know. Vegan is like no product.
Vegan is no. Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Oh, right. Okay. But
so in that sense, does a vegan stay away from fish oil too? Probably, right?
Ooh. Yeah, but you can get omega-3s, 6, and 9s through like flaxseed oil. So like you don't necessarily have to have fish. You can get the same fats from flaxseed and stuff like that. Yeah, man.
So here's another question: is are those tests real? Where like they like put something on a plant to read it while like destroying another plant next to it? Is that real?
Yes. Did it happen? Yes. I would say that's mostly like a rumor, though, that there was there was one scientist, I'm going to use air quotes, scientist, who did a study that showed that the plants showed emotion, and it was not able to be replicated by other people who use the scientific method to try to, because in science, in order to get a theory pushed into or a hypothesis pushed into a theory, it has to be, reproducible, right? You have to be able to, so no one else, there was no other scientists or teams that were able to reproduce those results from that study.
Interesting. You learn something new every day.
Yeah. So was it a thing? Yeah. Was it a real thing? I don't believe so. No. But I don't know, man. Plants are great.
Yeah. Well,
plants are good for our souls, I think.
I would agree. Right. I wouldn't be on that train saying that they're alive too, so blah 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 blah.
Is anybody banging that drum, dude? What are those people eating, if so?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't think anyone is. I just think they're saying, people who are annoyed with the vegans are like, well, you're eating something that's alive anyways.
Yeah, I would probably say that to a vegan just because, they kind of annoy me sometimes. I don't care, this comes back to anything. I don't care that you're a vegan. I don't care that you are gay. I don't care that you are, you know, an atheist. Like, I don't care about any of those things. I have no problem with that. Until you start, like, doing exactly what you fight against, which is, like, trying to convert every person you meet into your lifestyle, or just like showing it off like it's, you know what I mean? Like, doesn't that irritate you a little bit, like when people do that kind of shit?
Well, yeah, because I mean, I try to live my life like not doing anything like that, just because like I can think of like, well, not off the top of my head, but I'm sure that there were times in the past where like I tried to be pompous and like a know-it-all, and just had to, you know, like put my foot in my fucking mouth. And so like, why do that? Because like, you don't, like 10 years from now, I'm going to know a lot more than I know right now. So why fucking act that way? That's what I don't understand.
Right. And I mean, like I said, it's great for you that you're a vegan, but like, that does not mean that every person has to be a vegan. Like, right. Enjoy your vegan life. That's great. I'm going to keep eating meat, and that should be okay too. Like, you don't have to agree with it. I think that's the big misconception in today's society, is like, if you don't agree with someone, you cannot like them. Like, they are a horrible person, and that's not how it is at all. I mean, that's like the same with like politics, same with like, you know, so many different things. Right. And it's like, you can disagree with somebody and like, still they're a decent person just because they don't share your beliefs on something. You know what I mean? Like, exactly. Doesn't mean you have to fucking hate their guts.
Spot on.
Like, I don't get it, man. Like I said, I mean, that's like the big problem in general that we have going on right now. It's just that, like, again, it comes back to everything being so polarized. It either is or it isn't. It's black or it's white. It's, you know what I mean? Like, everything, people want to make everything seem so cut and dry.
And people just want a reason to be mad, I think, anymore. It's always so, I don't know, but it's always so refreshing whenever you find someone who likes to pause and not do that. You know what I mean? Like, so like, whatever that argument is, like everyone, like, not everyone, so many people go from 0 to 100 so fucking fast, like, without being like, you know what, like let's hear the other side, and let's just talk about it. Instead, they're like, you're fucking wrong, and I don't want to hear why you think you're not wrong, and I'm gonna go home and pray that you die tonight. You know, like,
right. Dude, yeah. And that's even okay, like, even if you don't want to talk about it and you're just like, you think you're right and you don't want to hear my point of view. Like I said, that doesn't mean like I'm a shit person. Like, that doesn't mean we can't talk about fucking music or something, you know what I mean? Or talk about,
right.
Like, there's a million things that like you can have in common with somebody. Like, just because you don't have one or two in common with somebody doesn't mean that like automatically you should write that person off.
So here's one, right? What do you think? And one that maybe we'll even end on, depending on where this topic goes or subject goes. But what do you think of these arranged big game hunting situations, right? So like SYWSOL the lion, and you know, those sorts of activities. And you know what I mean, right? Like the...
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Some wealthy doctor or dentist or whatever pays $50,000 to go kill a lion.
I think for the most part, I am okay with it. And I'm going to tell you why. Because in most of those cases, notice I say most here, most of those cases, that money goes towards conservation efforts. And like, without hunting to some extent, and I mean, like, you can argue this, but it's just, I mean, it's fact. Like, it's a simple fact. Like, without hunting, like, we would not have some of the species and the conservation that we do. 100%. We would not.
Yep. So there's ones that like I don't like. So there's situations where like I think I've seen a photo of someone's killed a giraffe before, and that's, giraffes aren't actually like, they're not always like calm. Have you ever seen them fight? It's ridiculous.
Do you want to hear a fun fact real quick about giraffes?
What's that?
So, under a restaurant, they were doing when they were excavating Pompeii, right? Like Mount Vesuvius, Pompeii, the big eruption. You know what I mean? Like back in the day, that big volcano that erupted and killed all those people.
Yeah.
So Pompeii, under one of the restaurants, they found a giraffe leg, which is not endogenous to that area.
Really?
And it's because in Roman days, that was like a delicacy. That and also flamingo tongue.
Wow. That's interesting.
They were eating giraffe legs,
That's
dude.
interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
So anyways.
So there's ones like that, like the giraffe. I don't actually know what the backstory is behind that. The Cecil the lion one, it's an interesting backstory, at least the bits and parts that I know. So like, don't get all up in arms and yell at me, people out there. But
I don't think I ever get up in arms and yell at you.
Well, not you.
Computer-related things, yes. I just yell at everybody. But
so that guy paid like $50,000 to hunt that lion, right? And when I say hunt that lion, like that lion's like in a large area that's like fenced in. Like that lion can't fucking get out. They were able to and that $50,000 ultimately goes to that community. And the reason behind this is like, this is almost their way of surviving, because rich fucks like this dude come in and do that, and that's what keep that community going. Now, the reason that they do this is because that they have apparently a fuck ton of lions that come in and just like ravage their village. And so like, it's like, it takes, it's one stone, two birds there, so that's kind of the reasoning behind that. Now again, I don't know what the overall population of lions are, and ultimately like what that contributes to, so on and so forth, so don't fucking hang me. But that was my understanding, is like, okay, well, if you look at it from that sense, get the news ready. Get it right. Get the news ready. Those things make sense.
Yeah, and I'm like I said, I'm 100% on board with that. Like I think that is, I don't see that, and especially like I've looked into this a little bit. Like I come from definitely a family of people who like hunt, and that is their thing, and they're outdoorsy people, and so like I've looked into this a little bit, and I know that like specifically like the animals that they are hunting are mature, older animals that are like going to die, right? Like in the next couple of years, like one way or another, they are either going to die by gunshot, or they're going to.
I think that was the giraffe story. Yeah, it was older. It was older, and it was like trying to kill the younger giraffes.
And I mean, a lot of times that is the case. Like, nobody's going out there and killing, like, a young bull that, like, has not bred yet, that is not, you know what I mean? Like, those kind of, like, usually the animals they're killing are older ones that have, like, already bred out, and they are literally, like I said, they're going to, if they don't die by a bullet, they're going to die by a predator, right?
Yep.
Like, I mean, because, like, they're becoming the weakest. Back to Darwinism, survival of the fittest, right? The weakest in the pack is the one that gets picked off.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, I don't know that I mean, and if you're making a clean shot, that's a relatively, I don't want to say painless, but I mean, like, that's a quick, compared to, like, getting your throat eaten out by hyenas.
Sure.
I would take the bullet in the heart. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
If those are my choices, like get shot in the heart with a rifle, or get my fucking throat eaten by lions or fucking hyenas or leopards or all the crazy sharp-teeth animals out there, dude, like, yeah, I'm going to take the fucking bullet in the heart every day of the week.
Yeah. So I will say that I do have my hunting license, but I haven't been in many years, but I have gone hunting.
Yeah.
I have gotten a rabbit before, and I have been able to experience from the death of the rabbit to the food it provided later on in that day, and everything in between, from cleaning it and all of that was a part of that.
The process. Right.
And when you do something like that, you respect that process more, and you respect the food that you have on your plate every day. There is a difference where many, many, many people haven't ever done that. And there's people there, dude, and I did that fucking like once, right? So I'm no man by any means, but I'm happy that I have had that experience where there's other people who like fucking get an elk and throw that shit over their shoulder and walk 10 miles back to their car, right? A rabbit.
Right.
Right.
And I mean, like, I have also, like, I've hunted. I have not been lucky enough to, like, or I guess I'm, like, I am, depending on how you look at it. Like, I have not, I mean, I've been deer hunting probably 10 times and never got a deer. I've turkey hunting, and turkeys are fucking, I swear to God, the most elusive creatures in the entire world.
Well, I mean, you could always just throw them out of airplanes, but...
Right, sure. And I think that's probably the most probable way of, like, that's how
killing them, right, because that's what will kill them.
Not killing them, because they're going to float slowly down. But I do hunt on a regular basis coyote on my property, and the reason being is because myself and my neighbors who share a property have animals. Like, they have goats, they have chickens, I have, like, my bunnies. Like, I mean, it's almost out of necessity, because, like, they will come in and, like literally ravage our chicken, coop. So, like, we hunt the coyote on a regular basis because we have to. There's so many fucking coyote up here, like, that it just is insane. Like, we have to hunt them. And honestly, like, I can't say that I'm, like, remorseful for doing so. Like, it's either them or my animals.
They're an interesting species, too, because they...
Dude, coyotes are... They're great. I love them. They're beautiful. They're awesome.
I'm sure you've heard their like howls at the end of the night, right?
I'm surprised that we have not caught that on our pod, because I sit in my car.
So you hear them, though, right? And so do you know?
Oh, they are constantly.
Do you know what that is?
If I were to go outside
now
to the edge of my woods, sex calls.
No, it's their roll call.
Oh yeah, checking in, yeah.
And they checked in, and when someone doesn't check in, that's how they know, and that's how the women then get into the mood to reproduce again, because they bulk up their pack again. How fucking crazy is that?
It's like they're Barry White, dude. They're just like, dude, that's fair. Let's get it on. Ow, babe. That's great, dude. That's great. Yeah. But I mean, so, like, I don't know. I hunt them out of necessity, and it makes me think of, like, there are a lot of people. I think a lot of people forget that there are still a lot of communities that hunt out of necessity. Like, there are, even, like, and I'm not talking about, like, out in the fucking, like, jungles of the Amazon hunting out of necessity. I'm talking about, like, there are small towns near me that are impoverished, and, like, people count on deer season to put deer away for meat to be able to, like, essentially survive. I mean, because they don't have the money to, you know what I mean? Like, they're impoverished. They look like deer season isn't something that's just like a sport. That's something that, like, that is going to feed them for the next 6 months. Absolutely. You know what I mean? Like, their 2 or 3 deers that they put in the freezer is going to, they make it into ground beef, they make it into steaks, they make it into, you know what I mean? Like, whatever it may be.
Of course.
Well, not ground beef, it would be ground deer, but
I know what you mean.
They get it processed, but I mean,
ground
like,
venison,
but I'm just, I mean, like, it's not always just, like, I think, like, when we think of hunting out of necessity, we think of, like, just people out in the boonies, like, or, you know what I mean, like, out in, like, the jungle, but, like, there are definitely, like, small towns near me where, like, that it's a huge deal, because I think they depend on deer season, you know what I mean, like, they depend on it, so I just think that's another, like, point in the equation that, you know what I mean, like, shouldn't be glossed over. Like, as much as you may be opposed to it personally, like, there are people who need that for survival. So, and that's not to say, like,
well, and
again,
I don't think, again, like, I think there's,
but...
yeah, no, I am pro hunting because I think there's a lot of reasons that it's needed, you know, because anytime.
But I can also see the other side.
If there were no hunting, like, your fucking vegan ass car is gonna be dinged the fuck up because we're gonna have overpopulated with deer, and you're gonna have highways just like you're gonna see a deer every 5 minutes as you drive down the fucking highway. I mean, you already see them. Like, that's the reason for that. Like, it is, and also just like a population control for that. Like, there's so many reasons for it. And who wants a highway full of dead animals? Like, that's, you know, like, we already have that. Like, let's not add to it because you think that no one else should eat meat, right?
Right.
And also, I think the best way to eat meat, and I think that I feel like any vegan or any vegetarian would have to agree that if you're gonna eat meat, you should have to go out and find it yourself and go through. You should have to know how to do it, right? And I don't disagree with that. I don't think that it's likely that many people are going to do that. But yeah,
nor do I think it's sustainable. Imagine
no
meat anymore. Every single person has to go out and
no,
hunt.
it's
like,
not.
that's not going to be sustainable.
But I do think do think that it's valuable for everyone to have done it at least once, to know what goes into it before they just go buy more like plastic wrapped meat at the store. You know, I think that there's a lot of value in that.
I agree. I totally agree. I think, there's a lot to learn. And, I think it's also cool because, it sounds kind of crap because you're killing the animal, but you learn so much about, you learn to appreciate animals when you hunt them, plain and simple, because you have to learn so much about them.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I can appreciate the fuck out of, a coyote. They are smart as fuck. They are, sneaky as fuck, dude. They will wind you so fast. They will do, you put your fucking call out, dude, and they'll come up, to your call. They're so smart enough to get upwind or downwind of you to make sure you're actually that wounded animal you're pretending to be.
Yeah.
They're smart enough to do that shit.
Yeah. They're crazy.
Yeah. It's fucking insane, dude.
They are crazy.
So, you appreciate the animals a lot. It's the same argument with, zoos. People are adamantly opposed to, zoos, circuses, things like that. And, to me, that's kind of sad. That was, my childhood, dude. You learn so much about those animals from being exposed to them in real life. It's different looking at a fucking elephant in biology, or science class, as opposed to looking at an elephant 10 feet in front of you, or riding a fucking elephant at the circus. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. I don't know much about. I've never been to a circus, I don't think, but we got a zoo pass. We go to the zoo all the time. Love the zoo, really do.
I went to the circus a couple times. Not a big fan of the clowns.
But the bearded lady is your shit, right?
Bearded lady is pretty cool. But I will tell you this, dude. It seems like it would be ballin' to ride an elephant. Not all that ballin', dude. It was not the funnest experience.
Really?
They have yes. They have hairs on them, dude.
Ooh.
That are
Are they prickly?
This, these are. Yes, they are black. They are black, thick fucking hairs. They're needles. They're thicker than needles, though. But, dude, they poke the fuck out of you.
Jesus.
They're sharp as fuck.
Nope, not for me. Not fun.
But it was pretty cool riding an elephant, though. There's a picture of me somewhere riding an elephant.
I think it's cool to say that you have. Yeah. Maybe I'll just start saying I have. And now I have, and now I have that story to make it sound like it's true.
Damn it, dude! I had to experience the prickle, and you were just gonna fucking straight steal my glory, dude. I don't know that I like that.
I gotta say, man, we are at that mark.
We are, and I think we got a lot. I think we had a lot of issues. I think
so too. Let me just.
We talked about animals. Everybody likes animals.
by saying, please send us all of your hate just tweet it to us at SYWSOL. Email us SYWSOLpod@gmail.com. And what were you gonna say?
I was going to say, as well as your hate, also send us pictures of your cute animals. We love to see cute animal pictures. Yeah. Like, tweet us pictures of your puppers and your bunnies and your cats. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, we'll look.
Cat pics. We'll look at them.
Yeah. Yeah. Send those pussies over. I think that's going to do it, right?
Yeah, dude, I think the fat lady sang.
The fat lady sang. For that, I am Jake.
I am Mike. Go love your puppers.
Go love those animals.
Yeah, love them good.
Later.
Not in like a bestiality way.
No, don't do that. Okay, later.
Yeah, don't love them that way. Yeah.